my button. Visitors remarks, sign in with the city secretary prior to the meeting. Do we have anybody that wants to talk? Public hearing to receive comments on public concern zoning of 4.13 acres, more or less, out of the South 1/3 Survey 45 subdivision F, share 19 of the Espiritu Santo grant from C2 Highway Commercial District to R1 Single Family District.
I don't think anybody's here to talk, but I'll summarize it, and if there is, they can get up. When it was annexed a long time ago, of course, they annexed the property as commercial, knowing that when it gets development time towards the back, it would be residential, because you wouldn't have that big of a lot that deep for commercial. So that was just done because it was the easy thing to do at the time, knowing that it would come in later. So it's across the street is where we're talking about.
No comments. We'll move on to public hearing to receive comments from the public concerning requests for conditional use permit to allow duplexes to be built on lots 1 through 21, block 1, lots 1 through 17, block 2, in the proposed Encino Crossing subdivision.
You filled it out, page 1 is the subdivision, and we color coded it because we're dealing with a conditional use permit on some little, and also a request for variance. What you're seeing here is the entire subdivision, and the blue lots are the lots we intend to develop as single-family residential lots. And the yellow lots are where we're asking for a conditional use permit to build duplexes. We intend to build and own these duplexes ourselves, and we'll be renting them out. The green line that you see at the back of certain lots is where we've requested that the rear setback line be adjusted to 15 feet rather than 25 feet. You'll see that in coordination with the city, we have adjusted this so that this line only applies where the lots back up on commercial property. And I believe that at the previous meeting, the board was willing to grant the setbacks on that cul-de-sac lots and the elbow lots. So we're asking that be done on the lots backing up on the self-storage facility. The primary reason we need the additional room is that if we try to build single-story, 3-bedroom duplexes on these lots, we can't fit them with a 25-foot front setback and a 25-foot rear setback. So we're asking that where we're backing up against commercial, that we be allowed to use a 15-foot setback. The duplex lots across the street, you'll see, we're not asking for any variance from the rear setback there. So we would have to put the 3 bedrooms on the west side. If you flip to the first 3 photographs you see there are samples of houses that we built in other subdivisions that we have in this price range, which is $130,000 to $140,000, sometimes $150,000 of price range, first-time home buyers. And then the last 2 are elevations that our architect has done, a sample of a single-story duplex and a sample of a two-story duplex, to give you an idea of what we have planned in the subdivision. So at this point, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Okay.
Is that it for item number 2? Item number 3, public hearing to receive comments from the public concerning a request for variance on the rear setback requirements on lots 5 through 18, block 1 of proposed Encino subdivision. You've already talked about that. Okay. Item number 1, under action items. Consideration and action to approve the minutes from February 16th, 2021. Have a motion? We have a motion. Do we have a second? All in favor?
All right.
Motion carries. Consider an action to approve a request for rezone 4.13 acres or more or less out of the south 1/3 survey 45 and subdivision F, share 19 of the Espiritu Santo grant from C2 Highway Commercial District to R1 Single Family District.
As I mentioned, what would happen on the south side is exactly, and it would mirror what's already in existence here on, actually, I said south. On the north side, it'll kind of mirror what the development is happening here on the south side. The first 200 or 300 feet or so is commercial, and then behind that is residential. So on the request for rezoning, we recommend approval because it becomes exactly what we're doing in the rest of the this area.
Any discussion? Can I have a motion? All right, we have an emotion to approve the request. So second.
Second.
All in
Approve. Aye.
Motion carries. Consider an action to approve request for a conditional use permit to allow duplexes to be built on lots 1 through 21, block 1, lots 1 through 17, block 2, proposed Encino Crossing subdivision.
If you look at your map, I think they did a good job compared to where we were last time. I think the concern from the board is that there could be duplexes built here and there. And I think they did a good job of putting them, number one, in behind the commercial in the front, as well as the commercial that's already existing in this area here. And so they're having those that complete street with potentially duplexes, and so it'll flow very well. I think that you'll see that it'll be a good transition from the commercial to the duplexes and then to the single family, just like we have in some of the other areas of the city. In fact, this is probably laid out better than most of the areas that, especially the old part where we've tried to make it fit. So we recommend this change, and that guess it's called conditional use for those.
discussion?
I say aye.
So that's a motion, I guess, for Larry.
Larry, is that a motion?
Yes, it is. Good go.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Aye.
Item number 4, consider an action to approve variance on the rear setback requirements, lot 5 through 18, block 1 in the Encino proposed Encino Crossing subdivision.
If you look at your map again, where the green is, that lays it out really nice and you can see, what they're doing there. Last meeting you approved, in block 1, you approved lots 1, 2, 3, 4, and you approved 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, because that's been pretty standard what we've done in other, developments on the cul-de-sac. So you'd approve that. So what we're asking is 5 through 18 to be added to that. And if you'll see, they didn't ask, because the concern, if you'll remember, the concern last time was a home backed up to another home with the variance given on both sides. It would put the back of the homes pretty close. And so they only did that where it backs up to the commercial area. And I think that's very good thinking and really sets it going to be nice. If you'll notice on the opposite side, they did not ask for that. And I think you mentioned you'll do a smaller duplex than those lots, so it'll fit. And I think it just lays it out real nice. And then you don't have to have that variance for the entire subdivision, just for those areas. And so we recommend approval.
I make a motion.
To do what?
Approve. To approve.
We have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Aye.
Consider an action to approve the preliminary and final plans for Encino Crossing subdivision.
If you'll recall, last meeting, the engineers our engineers that work for the city has reviewed everything. We as a staff has reviewed everything on both the preliminary and final plat, and everything is in order as it needs to be. The only question was these, and the last question was about drainage. I've got a letter from the Cameron County Drainage District number 1, where they're gonna increase the capacity of that main ditch along there, if you'll, between Holiday Out and the storage place. And so they'll widen that ditch to increase capacity. The good thing about that is that helps the rest of our city at the same time. And so the Drainage District was very favorable with that, I guess, request with that option, because it not only takes care of their extra runoff and drainage, but it will help as it comes from the north there. It doesn't move very far, just to the other side of 2480, but it does have some drainage that will help impact the whole area in a positive way. So we we recommend approval of both the preliminary and final plats.
Discussion.
Motion to approve.
Have a second? All in favor?
Aye.